Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. I'm Martha Brown, your host for today's activities. We are presenting today clothing from the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. It's so chilly out there. I hope they have brought some coats. Caleb and Lee and whoever else is on there with you, what did you bring us today?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We did. So this will be our last, as we move on to the end of the year, this will be our last segment as far as clothing. Come next year, we'll bounce around with some other things and we can always come back. But we promised coats, so we're bringing coats, and we're actually bringing a pair of Native American leggings, and we'll bring those out and we'll talk about those. But we did want to focus on coats because it's cold outside and it's appropriate. We have Kirsty with us today, which
Hi,
is
Kirsty.
awesome.
Good morning.
And she also works with the history collection. So I may have to bow out a little bit because I have to go do some other things, which is why I'm on the end and not in the middle. So we will roll around with it. So where do we want to start? I'm game for starting wherever.
We can start with the coat that's here right in front of us.
And we can work backwards almost. I love that.
We can totally do
All
that.
right, I need to get gloves.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about this coat.
So while Lee's getting gloves, so this coat obviously is kind of an eye catcher because it's very kind of like a brighter green. It's not such a very dark green that we would normally see.
I love this coat. I could wear this coat, y'all.
I totally would have worn this coat.
That was from the early 60s.
Yes. So this
I
coat.
had one like that.
Oh, you did? Nice. So this one, it does have the label that's in here, and that says fashion built. So, and it is a very nice, well-made coat. But the other thing, the other label that I found that I thought was very interesting, because I was like, I want to know more about the date of this coat. Inside here, you can actually see, I don't know if Bethany, if you can highlight into that one. So this label is going to be a bit upside down, but it is the International Ladies Garment Workers Union. And so that was started in the 1900s, but this particular label, you can date it because it has the AFL and the CIO. So that's from 1959 to 1963. So that gives us a more rounded date of when this coat was made. And it also has, if you want to put that back down, these really,
They're so pretty.
like, very big, elaborate. I wish I could crochet this way. But these buttons here, we've got 3 of them, very big buttons. These are crocheted. You can see there. Yeah. And then of course you have the nice fur coat that goes all the way around.
And that is that detachable?
No, this
Oh.
is actually attached to the coat itself. So you could flip it up if you wanted to, and you would have this very, let me do it this way. You would kind of have this
Ooh, I like
that would, and the person would have like the fur coming around their coat or around their neck and everything. So, but yeah, it does not detach, which I kind of like because then I wouldn't lose it. But then it also has this button underneath here that you can attach so that there's not much wind getting to your neck, that you can just loop that right in there.
This
Very
is actually
pretty.
my style of coat.
I would wear it all the time.
But I wanted to talk about and see if y'all are familiar with it, because I guess I never assumed that when it came, well, I guess any manufacturing company, but unions for clothing. And that's kind of where we did research, because I never heard of AFL. So have y'all heard of that?
Yes,
Does it?
it's a labor union.
Yes, it was a big deal when they merged.
Hmm.
Who did?
Yeah.
Who did they merge with? The
CIO.
Yep, with the CIO.
IO.
Is it just for women's clothing, or was it just?
Oh,
people.
No, it's a big union for labor union.
Labor union.
So it's many different industries. Automobile industry, for a while. I think the auto union was part of that for a while. Just hotel workers.
What did you say, AOC?
Yeah, it was just so many
I
different
see.
facets together.
Didn't know that.
No.
So I'm assuming that when our manufacturing like went overseas, just in general, these unions slowly started to maybe phase out just a bit, or I'm assuming that there is at some point when we're no longer making things within the US.
I think the unions are still around. They're not
Yeah.
quite as big. And I think they have diversified.
Okay, because you hear about,
Other-
there's still the railroads, there's teachers, but
Mhm.
I was wondering with
Yeah, the
like
construction.
clothing, the garment
Mhm.
industry, if it's outsourced.
There's still a few, but not
Where's-
as many.
Yeah.
Did someone had mentioned that they had worn a coat like this or had a coat like this?
I
Oh,
think
here
Martha
we-
did.
Martha.
She's turned around and she's looking at something. Oh, well,
She's muted.
I have like 3 styles of this at home, of this same
Uh-huh.
coat, very similar.
Mhm.
I like this style and it's in great condition.
Yep.
So whoever the lady that wore it, she took care of it.
yes,
There's not even
Very-
discoloration on the inside.
very
line.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is it made out of?
This one it looks like a tweed,
This one was a cotton wool,
cotton wool,
Yeah,
blend.
with the-
Yay.
the linen that was sewn inside.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They called it rayon.
Now that's considered faux fur, correct?
No, this is actually
That's
fur.
actual fur.
That's fur.
Never
This is
mind,
actual
I
fur.
don't have a coat.
I had a fur collar just like it in the 60s.
That's real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This
I
one's
thought
not
it
faux.
was faux fur.
No, that other one that we
Oh,
wanted
no,
to
I
bring
know.
is faux fur.
It's too fancy.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's too fancy for me. I mean, I would wear it. I would.
Just don't get PETA involved. They'll protest your museum. you know.
Well, yeah, PETA would not like us.
No.
No.
I remember going to the circus down in Dallas, okay? And I was standing in line and they were protesting
Yeah.
all the animals, which is travesty because they didn't understand the whole aspect of it, okay? Those animals were very well taken care of.
Mhm.
But they're handing out things and the guy looked down and had boots and he says, I guess you don't want one of these. And he walked away, because I was wearing cowboy boots. Yeah, because, Ringling Brothers set up, how do you say, sanctuaries for the elephants
Yeah.
and for all of their animals, so they were taken care of very well. But a lot of people didn't understand that because I think there was a lot of history. There was a lot of history in the circus industry of mistreatment,
Yeah.
but the Ringling Brothers did not. They were very, how do I say, very diligent, to take care of their animals.
That's good.
So anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Getting in there.
No, that's a,
PETA's been around for a bit and they
Yep.
do.
Yeah, I know.
He
Yeah.
always teaches us something.
Oh, I don't know if it's good or not.
Do we want to transition?
We can, if we want to go.
Which one is the buffalo riding coat?
It's 1915. This one's older.
yes,
Let's
so.
go buffalo.
All right.
And I'll work on transitioning. this
Buffalo,
out.
right?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. You can stay right here.
All right, guys, we had some technical difficulties this morning. Everybody
We can't hear you.
You can you see the coat?
Yes.
Okay. So this one is buffalo. This is a hide. It is not lined. You can see inside of it here. So and it has this. When we first were looking at it, we thought it was a men's jacket, but after looking at it further with the epaulets and then some of the design that is here on the collar, kind of the fringe, and also just the silhouette is more of a woman's riding coat.
Mhm.
So, and it kind of, it's like once you would wear it,
Riding, okay.
you would drape it over and it would crisscross a little.
Mhm.
But then
Yeah.
the other thing that's about this.
Yeah, we like the backside.
So it helps with riding. Because I don't know if any of y'all have ridden a horse, sometimes your coat will get stuck under you. This one actually has the split so that you're not restricted with your coat.
You can ride astride, right? Yeah,
Yep.
you can ride
you can ride
astride.
strap.
Yeah.
Yep. So this coat, I really like this jacket.
Peter would also not like this. No, Peter would also not like this vest.
No, no, no.
So, but you would also have kind of this tie. It's from 1915. And just a little bit of trivia that I found out about this coat. It was actually traded for a bottle of whiskey in Miami, Arizona.
I feel like that's a good deal.
It's a nice coat.
It's a very
Yeah.
nice coat.
Yes, it is. It is.
I just
Yeah,
love
very-
all the braiding.
Yeah.
The stitch work is very, very good.
Yep. I really like the epaulets. and stuff that are
I
on
do
the
think
top.
it's a woman's. You've got
Yeah.
scalloped edges. We can see that just a little bit. We've got
Well,
scalloped edges at the
It's a
bottom.
little bit, usually a men's buffalo hide was a little bit thicker because they had different thicknesses of hide. Usually the men's coats were a little bit thicker because they
Yeah.
were work coats.
Just from the arm to,
Yeah.
and even if we turn it back around, this stitching on the sides right here.
Mhm.
That.
Because men's coats were a little bit more rustic.
That's a nice French. I think it's beautiful. This one, because of just the leather itself, it hasn't, the way it hangs is probably not the best. When we store it, it's in a box, but
Mhm.
I had to get a bigger box for it because it's still,
Yeah.
there's still some weight behind it, but
Yeah.
you can tell just the leather. It's been on a mannequin for a few days and gravity has helped us because it has kind of straightened it out. But you can tell that still, it needs some conditioning. We won't be treating it, but it's still-
Today, to make something like that, it'd be very expensive
Oh, yeah.
Would be
because buffalo hide is not cheap.
Yeah. I guess you can still get it somewhere. But
Well, I can buy it over in Arlington at the leather shop,
yes.
but it's more expensive than cowhide.
Well, when it comes to leather, you're using leather as a thread, correct? Like you're
Well,
sewing it. Well, now I'm
the
trying to think.
traditional is sinew,
Right.
okay? But that today they don't really use a lot of that. Some people still do, but I use
Is it?
called a woven thread. And so it has a lot of characteristics of sinew, but it's a little easier to work with.
Okay, and it's thicker and it can go
Well, it's how you say,
longer.
it's stronger, and the woven basically makes it so it's so easier to sew because it doesn't fray, it doesn't ball up, it doesn't bunch up, things like that. It's easier to work with.
I like this coat. I like.
So somebody who sews with sinew takes a long time because they have to wax each section before they sew it.
Okay.
You need that wax in order to be able to go through the thread, the leather. Anyway, sorry.
Awesome.
No, you're good.
I love it. I love the fringe. I love the braids. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yes. It's something I could see in one of our Western themed
Oh, yeah.
shows, you know.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You know, so if you ever put on a Western demonstration and people are actually wearing things, that would be something that a lady would like to wear, you know.
Yeah, she would have.
Anyway,
That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Right. You know, they probably have. I'm thinking of, he was saying like women would wear that. I'm thinking I've seen some designs like this where stock show comes around.
Oh, yeah.
have
Oh,
tons
no,
of
no,
people wear
there's
that.
still, you're right. That,
Mhm.
absolutely.
It's not
It's-
fashionable coat.
It's still modern as far
Mhm.
as Western attire. Oh, yeah.
what I envision is a lady wearing that, and then the kind of the flat brimmed
Mhm.
Western hat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's flat. It's not curved up. It's just flat around and kind of a
Yeah.
more of a squared off type of
Mhm.
thing. That's what
Well-
ladies wore, a lot of those.
Well, and Caleb and I were talking about, they're not, I don't know if you call them gaucho pants, but the ones that almost look like a skirt, but they're pants, but it's a
Yeah.
full,
Mhm.
that
Split
Mhm.
skirts.
split skirt, split skirt.
Skirts, yeah.
And they would have worn.
Mhm.
Yes, uh-huh.
Fancy people called them gaucho pants. They called them that at Neiman Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Fair.
they added a few dollar signs onto it after.
Yeah, a couple zeros probably.
Yes, they did. My mother had a pair of pink gaucho pants
Makes
in
way
the
more sense.
70s.
I love it. All right. So
These are it's about 19.
we can talk about these.
Yeah, these are about 1900s.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, we can actually think.
We
wanna-
discovered these and they were in such great condition that we decided to bring them
Yes.
because they're awesome.
Mhm.
We've got
Yeah.
some Alaskan leggings, but it is the entire boot. This is the entire shoe.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're men's.
Mhm. So I'm gonna kind of move it this way
Yeah.
a little bit so y'all can see.
What is this called?
So these are the Alaskan leggings, or was there another word?
We have them listed as leggings. It's almost like a muckluck. And
Yeah.
a bib
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
just a thigh high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like
More than a
this
legging.
is seal skin, all of this at the bottom here. So the sole of the foot, the toe, all of that. And then right above here, so like from here up, let me see if I can get this in the picture right. Yes.
I'll get this one. You got it.
So from here up is caribou. And then you have a little bit of caribou and wolf in here, but this portion is wolf. And you can actually see, if you can zoom in just a bit, Bethany, you have a claw here
Mhm.
that's still part of the fur.
No way.
Uh-huh. That's
I
part
never,
of
I
the
didn't
wolf.
see that. Oh my
Uh-huh.
goodness.
Yeah.
Dew claw.
I didn't, oh,
Uh-huh.
mind blown.
Yep.
Honest to goodness, did not see that.
We're losing their internet again.
Yeah.
Peter really wouldn't like that.
Very, very, very tough boots.
Mhm.
The sealskin, the caribou is a very, very durable. I had a pair of caribou cowboy boots.
Oh, nice.
They don't wear out. They dry rotted before they wore out, you know.
You would definitely be seriously warm in these
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
shoes. Like
Yeah.
you would be hot.
And they're not lined per se. I'm not quite sure about when you get closer to the ankle, but as
Mhm.
far as the leg itself, it's just, leather. And then of course we've got some straps here.
Mhm.
It may not be lined because they would have worn the pants.
That's what we were
And then
thinking.
it may be lined.
Exactly. But
Mhm.
I love these, and we do have several Native American pieces as far as whether it's Alaska or into Canada, that use variations of reindeer or caribou or seal. And for the most part, our pieces, they do pretty well. We've got
Mhm.
a walrus seal bladder, a walrus bladder coat.
Mhm.
It's a raincoat.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You saw water in.
It's very big, which is why we can't bring it, because the boxes wouldn't make it through the door.
Mhm.
But we do have several mucklucks. We have a couple of reindeer jackets, men's jackets that are turn of the century.
Is one of them a seal and reindeer jacket, or
Yes, that's the
Okay.
one. I think,
yes?
We brought that in for.
we did. We brought that
Mhm.
one in.
Would
But-
that large one ever be put on display?
Maybe. it would be very cool. I think people would it's just ingenious how it's made because it's very thin. It's kind of translucent.
Mhm.
And I think it would be one of those. I'm not quite sure how it would be displayed. I'm assuming it would be flat and at an angle, like it would need just a,
Mhm.
but I don't know if it's ever been displayed,
Mhm.
but it would be very cool. It'd be
Mhm.
awesome.
I think we used it for one of our winter videos.
Yeah.
But that's
But
something similar to it.
yeah,
Okay.
the walrus bladder, that's several pieces that were sewn together. And for some reason, this escaped my notice. And we were pulling things, and I hadn't seen these before. And they're in great condition. And yep, I know who will like these. So I was very happy about it.
So whose Christmas list is it on?
I mean, I take them.
Yeah,
It's kind of short because I've already measured them and they won't fit me.
Mhm.
Mine isn't long enough. It's not long enough. Like Kirsty, maybe.
Yeah, like it would probably fit my lips, maybe.
Even then, I think it would be too big. This
Around the thigh.
around
Yeah.
the thigh.
Mhm.
Well, but they tucked their pants in.
Mhm.
That's true. That is true.
Okay.
Probably could fit it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm tall enough. Caleb, you
Yeah.
think you fit in?
That's about my
Be
shoe size.
close.
Is that about your shoe size?
Mhm.
I'll take the green coat. Do you want the riding coat?
I'll take the riding coat and the leggings.
Like you get?
You get the
I
Confederate
don't think I
coat.
want the Confederate
How
coat.
The
Oh.
writing coat may be a little short on your arms, so
Yeah, that
a little bit.
it'd be probably about like right.
So it'd be like a
Oh,
quarter
that would
sleeve. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome. It'd be great.
it'd be like an autumn.
You already
Coat.
ride horses, so that fits
Yeah.
perfectly. And I get the green coat with the fur collar.
There we go.
I'm allowed to put up with. I get the leftovers.
What? You don't get okay, I'm sorry, Caleb. What would you like?
Maybe I would like the green coat.
You don't get to. Okay, fine. All right, so now we transition since we're going backwards.
Yes.
To our last garment, which is very interesting, and it hasn't been on display, but we actually have two of these. Let's go ahead and maybe shimmy this table just a little bit this way so we can bring that one and we can, yeah. Perfect.
And right, right.
There we go. Now there is some wear and tear with this coat, just it is a wool coat. We've had some critters eat a little bit, so there are some holes throughout the garment, but it is an overcoat. This one was worn by Van Zant. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Van
Mhm.
Zant.
Mhm.
We see that name.
Oh, yeah.
pop up a
Yes,
lot.
yeah.
And so this one was given from I'm going to say not a convention, but like a reunion. Both Union and Confederate soldiers post-war had reunions. There were several in this area. And so this was given to him just in honor of his service from the United Confederate Veterans. Now, the other one we'll talk about the buttons because there is a little bit difference. It's the same cut, but we want to talk about the label on the inside. And this actually came with a vest. We didn't bring a vest, but the vest was made out of this fabric as well. But we'll talk about the overcoat. And I wasn't quite sure if y'all were familiar with Van Zant, if you were from here, because he fought in the Civil War. Obviously, he fought for the Confederacy, but he came back and came to Fort Worth and kind of helped get Fort Worth back up and going, because post-Civil War Fort Worth was a dying town. People had just left, so the population really, but there wasn't a lot going on, and the railroad hadn't fully hit yet. And so coming off of the war, it was individuals like him that came, and unfortunately he had the resources And so he established one of the first banks in Fort Worth. He bought land here. There's a cottage here right down the road from us, the Van Zant cottage, and he set up shop here and really kind of helped get Fort Worth back. And so the two coats we have, this one, there's a variation in the buttons because the other one we have, it has the state of Texas. So if we can zoom in on the buttons. I don't know how long if he wore this. I don't have a picture of him in it, but somehow he had two, which I think is very interesting. But we do have, I'm trying to think of which one that's a little bit. There you go. Thank you, Caleb.
The best one to look at. See it.
So it's got a battle flag on it, as well as the dates 1861 to 1865, Civil War. Now the other jacket has the like the Lone Star and right in the center. But this one has two style of buttons. It's got the flag, but then also over here. Is that a flag too?
Yeah, they're all
They're
flags.
all the flags on
I thought they were different.
Nope.
That makes sense.
On the vest, they're smaller and it only has the flag. It doesn't have the numbers.
Got it. We turn it around, please. Yes, please. Or zoom out. Maybe just a little, please. Yes. Got that, so you can tell. Elongated, pleated, sewn. And then if we come back around, Kirsty, I don't know if you want to undo these buttons, but we want to show you the tag of actually where it was manufactured. Because it wasn't hand sewn, it was manufactured.
Mhm. Is that it, right?
Yes.
We can go up and zoom in.
Yeah. We are.
Okay.
I see the label, but I can't read it.
Yes, so it says, the Pettibone
Mhm.
Bros Manufacturing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Whoa.
So it was manufactured in the North. During the Civil, well, even before the Civil War, the South wasn't heavily industrialized, and what they did was mainly destroyed. So late 1800s, you really can't get a whole lot of manufactured goods down here.
Mhm.
So they had to import from the North. Trade did come down from the North.
Mhm.
Import's not the right word.
And this is a double-breasted. The lining is actually in much better condition than the other one. For some reason, that lining was starting to just come apart,
Whoa.
especially on here. But we've
That's
got
very
deep
deep.
pockets.
I love this side pocket. Like it's not straight down. The one on Caleb's side is like a side pocket. So you just like,
Yeah.
you would open your jacket, just like stick your hand in that way instead of having to go down like that. I love those kind of.
And so I'm just going to go out on a limb here and assume that they bought this coat per measurement, and they, once it came here, the buttons were sewn on. Now the buttons could have been from another uniform. They're not really manufacturing those. They're not making those buttons. So I'm assuming they were repurposed, but that I can't confirm. I'm just assuming.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking out loud. But unfortunately, we have a little bit of damage on it, but still, I think in good condition.
People used to reuse buttons all the time.
And it makes sense why the other one has a different button pattern on it, but same size and same shape. It's an overcoat, it's a frock coat. But it was presented to him. And I'd like to put this one on display just as far as understanding local history, because Van Zant is all over the place in North Texas. I also like the style of coat. I like the double-breasted. It could be, now I don't know if y'all know this, but, and again, y'all know, I do not understand all of the military backgrounds when it comes to clothing, but which way would it have been buttoned? Would it have gone this way? Or would it have gone this way? I'm not quite sure.
That was the first unisex coat.
Yes. I mean, I either way, I don't know enough about military uniform as why you would have had both sets.
Well, we were guessing maybe, because a lot of times they would have people dress themselves, and so it depends on which side they were coming from.
True.
And so sometimes on the battlefield, you may not have somebody there to do it. So
Yeah.
if you had somewhere to do it, they could do one side, but if not, you can do the
You
other
could do
side.
your own.
That's speculation,
Still
complete speculation.
There was for a
Not
time
a bad-
though, it's like women's clothing, like when it was buttoned, it would go
Yes.
like right overlap to the left, and then men's was the opposite.
Yes.
But that,
I
I think that may be
wonder.
way further back.
That's interesting though, to do it yourself or to have someone do it
Mhm.
for you.
It also too is if I say, if a person is wounded and has a problem with a hand, that allows them to still button their coat
Either way.
either way.
Oh yeah,
Smart, Steve.
that's very smart. That
Because not everybody was wounded with a hand was taken out of the military.
right,
It was
but
still part of it. So
Yep.
but they still had the dress.
you know that
That makes sense too.
that makes complete sense.
Yeah. I mean,
It's very
if you
practical.
get in the hand, you're probably going to lose that hand during that time period.
Uh-huh.
The Civil War was also more documented medically when they found out it's like if a person was stabbed or shot in the hand, like that's when Civil War men, like they would pass out because that was so sensitive.
Yeah.
Medically, that was something that happened.
Oh
as
no, you're
well.
fine.
I was looking at the question. Maybe Google News.
Oh yeah, maybe Google knows. We Google a lot. That's where sometimes that's where we start.
What would we do?
Sure, asking Pandora to play some music.
Sorry about that.
Ah,
Stop. Hey, Google, stop. Every once in a while, it just turns on,
Takes it up.
here's something and starts out. My Alexa doesn't do that. My Google does.
My watch will
Google.
do that sometimes. Like I'll be
Yeah.
talking and then it'll be like, I couldn't find that. It's like, hush, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, you'll hear a word on the TV and it starts talking to us, that.
Well, you guys have just done a great job of
That's
keeping me
excellent. This
warm
is
on the
excellent.
inside.
Yes, I thank you.
absolutely. So what are y'all interested in seeing for the new year? What do y'all want to see?
You
I'll
got
tell you.
boots?
We do have boots.
That'd be fun to me.
We could do shoes. We
Yeah,
do like
shoes.
shoes.
Yeah.
We could do
Do you
do
have,
Hats.
accessories and hats. We do have
Hats.
some fun hats.
Yeah.
We
do you
do
have
hats.
anything for space?
We do. Yes.
Outer space?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
astronauts?
Yeah.
We can do some of that too. We do have space. Well, we can also, we have quite a bit from Alan Bean. We have an Alan Bean collection.
Oh,
He went-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
to school here. So we do have quite a few of his log books and training books and things like that, which I find interesting. They're in our archives, but we also have some of those pieces that we could probably
Mhm.
bring to that are smaller and that we can hold,
Mhm.
but he has fun.
Yeah.
stuff. He has some fun.
Space capsule you can't hold in your hand,
No, you can't hold
Yeah.
space capsule.
sorry.
Can't hold a training suit.
Oh.
Those are
Kind of
in the
like-
planetarium.
Yeah.
We're limited by the door that we get in.
Yes. Yes,
Fair.
it's a narrow door and walkway to get here, but
You You know what I would love?
I think we
I would
have,
love
oh, go ahead. Sorry, Miss
is
Martha.
if the three of you would pick something that you've always wanted to show, but nobody ever asked.
Ooh,
Oh, that'd be fun. Yes.
All three of you pick something different.
I could roll with that.
Yeah.
That's a nice like grouping of conversation.
You will get a lot of random different things.
You're
so
gonna
that's
get
a good one.
random stuff.
Hey,
make
that'd
that
be
4
great.
people. Yes,
That'd be great.
we'd love that.
I
Thank you
like
so
that. What a
much.
great idea. No, that's awesome. We might do that one come next month then, since we've
Yeah.
all been working on different. I don't even know where to start.
Well, good. Then maybe over the year you could do 2 or
Yeah.
3 of each one.
We'll pick a couple. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I always do books. I love books.
Kirsty does love books and she's found some awesome ones. Caleb has found some too.
Do you have any luggage?
Mhm.
Like
Little bit.
leather pouches or mail bags or ladies' train cases or
Yes.
things
Yeah.
from the mail, anything, a leather pouch. I
Yeah,
think Steve would love
that'd be
that.
cool. Yeah.
We do. We've got messenger bags. Some are not going to be in the best condition,
Well,
but we have some, and we do have some various tribes, North American tribes, like bandolier bags, the ones that are heavily beaded, which I think are beautiful, and you can go on all different, tangents on those,
mhm.
and those are still in pretty good condition. But then we also have, we could continue with leather because we have hats, and
Good.
Kirsty, we didn't bring the bear gloves, so that'll have to be for like next time. So in the
Okay.
teaching collection, there are some men's
about those.
very large bear fur mittens. I mean, they're huge, and I love them, and I forgot to pick them up. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, as soon as we're off the thing, make notes.
I would like again another time of you doing firearms. That was so interesting.
Oh, I love the firearms.
Yeah,
No, that
that'd be
one's
so
great.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
I like being able to zoom in because I felt like
Mhm.
that one worked really well. So we
Yeah,
can
it
do
was.
that
It was
again.
very good. Yeah.
Hans, we haven't heard anything from you today. Can you take yourself off of mute? Put yourself off of mute and tell us what you'd like to see.
Please almost take note of that. Oh,
Here you go.
look at you guys.
We're
I'm
gonna,
learning a lot.
you'd like to hear what?
I'm learning a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
learning a
great.
lot.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Is there anything you would like to see, Hans? It takes him a while sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay.
All right.
We're willing to wait.
And we can go off of blades too, if you're interested in blades, some of the smaller, like utilitarian everyday knives, because I'm always learning something about that. And yeah, we can definitely do firearms.
Okay.
I do. We do have a nice collection.
Well, Hans, if you can't think of anything now, you can let me know later. How would that be?
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
and we can pass that along to them because we want to include everybody in what we do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know Yetta has already left for the day.
yes, left. Yes.
Okay. Well, folks, thank you so much for what you've done today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I got to see my old coat from early college days. That just thrills me to no end. Mine was turquoise and the fur was a little darker. It was the color of Lee's shirt
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
black.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Turquoise
would
and-
have been
Nice.
and
coat.
brown.
nice coat.
I wore it until you couldn't straighten the arms out anymore, carrying my books in college. Well, hang in there. Let's see what's coming up tomorrow. Here we are with the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History clothing, and we got coats today finally. Tomorrow is Amy Carter Museum of American Art. Peggy Spear is going to bring us pictures and photographs and paintings of deer. Won't that be
Bambi's.
interesting?
Yeah, Bambi's.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh. My dad was a deer hunter, and he would bring home venison. And I could eat it all day long until you said Bambi, and then the meal was over.
Yeah, I know.
Way to go, Steve.
I'm
Way to go,
sorry.
Steve.
I'm sorry.
Go, Steve.
We
Hey,
still love you, Steve.
My son-in-law works for Disney, so that has come through,
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Well, let's wave goodbye to the nature folks.
Thank
We'll
you,
see all
everybody. That was
tomorrow.
great. Fantastic.
Christmas, y'all. Happy
Uh,
New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to
everybody.
you.